this patterning. How pretty this is. It's great. It's so quiet until I let the chickens out. And it won't be so quiet.
So here we're removing the subfloor. We had a bit of an issue in that the R value of 1 for the log burner required a full thickness non-combustible 1 inch or 25 millimeters of non-combustible material underneath the log burner, and that required us to remove the OSB subfloor and replace it with a concrete fire retardant cement board, which needed to be adhered down with thin set or tile adhesive. And Mariette is hammering the screws in, and I'm driving the screws in. And then we added a nice bit of trim around the outside, because if we ever decide to remove the laminate flooring around the log burner, then we don't have to worry about adding a decorative trim against the tile edge. So as you can see, we're just laying out the bond of the tiles. There's lots of different tile bonds that you can use. Chris and I discussed it, and she decided that it would be better to have the wider frontage to make the room look a little bit wider. Losing the light a little bit now as well, so hence using the head torch and sort of lead lights and that. Wished I had a straight edge, I'd be able to get them really flat, but just doing our best with what we've got.
So we've heard back from the guy who's going to be signing off the wood burner. Marcus was just waiting for one more dimension just to make sure they were happy with that. Yep, so Marcus just dug a little bit more of the floor out to make sure that we're wanting to have the fire hearth flush once it's in, or as near to flush as possible, because we've had to bring it out that bit further. We don't want it to be a trip hazard when you're coming in and out of the kitchen. So Marcus is complaining about all the tools that he doesn't have that are in the UK.
That I'm mixing thin set with a trowel. I wouldn't give for a paddle mixer right now.
And he wants a plumb line?
A straight edge.
A straight edge
would be great, rather than a bent bit of 2x4. What else? Oh, to ping some chalk lines down on the cement, so on the concrete board, so I can get some straight lines.
So he's having lots of fun making do without.
I have 2 6-foot levels. I've got a blue chalk line and a red chalk line. I've got layout squares, and probably even I think there's a laser level coming over into the chimney container. All would be really handy right about now.
It's currently floating out in the ocean, so hopefully we'll get that at the beginning of December and make life a little bit easier. Poor old Marcus.
Either that, or someone to actually help when we mix the.
Well, help? I can make tea.
That would be good.
So the tiling was quite not straightforward. I had to make sure that we had adequate thin set under the tile and on the tile. So you'll notice I lay a very thick bed with a 1/2 inch notch trowel, and then we really make a good job of buttering the back of the tile before we lay it, so we get a good adhered base, because we've got a heavy log burner going on, and make sure we've got a full thickness flat bed of thin set with the tiles going down.
You're missing a wet tile cutter as well.
It's not funny. It's not funny.
But look at the moon.
I'm really pleased we spent the time, especially with Chrissy, laying out dry the tile bond to get it about right, because we managed to use the offcuts in the left and right sides, and there was only a small 1-inch slip that came off the back of the tile as it butts up against the brick chimney breast. So we really optimized very, very well all of the tiles that we had, which is quite fortunate, as when we got to the bottom of the pack, whether I'd knocked them loading or whether they'd been knocked or damaged, as I started cutting the back ones, they just started falling to pieces.
I thought you just had one more cut.
Well, there's always one more.
Ah.
That's not supposed to be detached from that.
Did you break the corner?
You did.
Take 2. Hurrah!
The last tile place.
Are you enjoying the cold, Bridget?
Yeah.
Feel the heat?
Yeah. Essie, feel the heat. Take over. No.
You're not going to feel the heat. That's
I can't
cool.
feel anything.
So it's the only bit that's not frozen here this morning.
Yeah.
You don't get all the heat out. You want to bank it up.
Mariette's really come into her own with some of these home DIY jobs. Shows a real aptitude for the tools and equipment. Here it would be nice to have a nice big leather or a sponge rubber to push in all of the grout, so we've just had to use a wooden scraper and metal spatulas to press the grout into all the joint lines.
Even though we both stay the same, would you call me on the midnight train? Would you come over when nothing's right? Would you hold me tight in the rain? Even as we're having a fight, say you. I'm used to give up 100 times. to say. This time it is different. Sometimes I can't understand how it can be so hard to stay out of pain. But with you everything has changed, even though we both stay the same. Would you call me on the midnight train? Would you come over when nothing's right?
So we've got the little burner installed, or the wood stove. She's a big girl. Worked out quite nicely, but right on that grout line, right on this grout line, right on that grout line, at the back, exactly there, 200mm or 8 inches off the front. We've got a minimum, it's supposed to be a minimum of 18 inches, but it's 22. Really pleased with that. Just got to get the old stovepipe all installed now. Going up and over like that, and we're going to do the burn-ins.
I made an old man. I said, tell me your story. He took out a notepad and wrote something for me. Then he kept walking on down the road, and I watched him disappear like smoke. And I thought I'd just seen a ghost. Then I looked down at what he wrote. It said, son, when you grow up you'll be fine. I know you've got questions on your mind. Life is gonna happen one way or the other, whether you like it or not. Stop looking for the answers and you'll find what you've got. I met a young man, searching for glory. I took out an old pen and wrote in my story. Then I kept walking on down the road. When your time is up, it's time to go. I pray he reads what's on the note. It takes the
We're really lucky in that our really big chimney breast has got two actual chimney flues integrated into it. We're only utilising the one, as you can see here on the right, and we've put a nice neat little 90-degree bend. Mariette again helping me assemble the chimney flue and getting it all installed ready for our first lighting. The Inglander NC32 has some quite strict burning in guidelines. The first fire has to be very, very small and only reach a certain temperature, and then the second fire slightly larger and reach a certain temperature, and then the third fire slightly hotter. And each time they recommend that you have the windows, doors and adequate ventilation into the house for all of the burn off of the machining oil, etc. Even recommended sometimes in some instances to do it outside. We didn't have that option, so we're just doing our first little fire here.
The noise of
the turkeys, being turkeys, think that the Ryobi light is the sun and literally live in front of it. He thinks it's the sun. Good boy, Carmen. They think it's the sun. It's really funny. Everyone's wet. The turkeys still think the light's the sun. That one's going to sleep in the sun. Oh, you poor things. Oh, I'm going to turn the sun off now. I've got to turn the sun off now. Alright, I'm turning the sun off now. Okay? Say bye-bye, sun. You're pecking. Sun's off. Okay.
You gotta get going.